Today, let's talk about why everyone is selling off their music catalogs. Hello, I am Landon Austin. If you're new to this channel, here we talk about music business, we talk about investing, royalties, different income streams, we talk about life of being an independent musician, all that kind of fun stuff. But in this video, why is everyone selling off their music catalogs? What is going on? Yesterday, Shakira sold off her catalog, her publishing catalog, for about 165 songs. Last week, Ryan Tedder sold off his 500 song catalog, or actually he sold off a majority stake in it, but this is a publishing catalog that included hits from OneRepublic, from Beyonce, Adele. We don't know the price that he got for it, but it is estimated to be near about $200 million. Last year, Bob Dylan sold off his catalog of 600 songs for a little less than $400 million. So why is everyone doing this? What's going on? Why are people investing in them? Well, right now is a great time for people to invest in music royalties. And let me tell you why. So music royalties can be a great addition to a diversified portfolio because they're not tied to the economy. They're not tied to these traditional investments. If the economy crashes or the market tanks, people are still going to listen and royalties are still going to be generated. So another reason right now is a great time for people to invest in music royalties. I mean, the early 2000s, everyone's stealing music. I mean, it's so easy to get on Napster and download songs and get them for free. People feel entitled to get music for free, and it's a terrible time for the music industry. Well, fast forward 20 years, now we have Spotify, and it's not even worth your time or effort to steal songs. I mean, why would you spend all this time downloading all these albums when you can just pay $10 a month and have the history of the world of music collection on your iPhone? So I've shown this graph before on my channel, but I think it's so interesting. This is the study that Goldman Sachs did of the music industry. And you can see this dark orange line is the recorded music revenue. And in like the early 2000s, it's doing okay. But once Spotify enters the market around 2015, you can see this dark orange start to rise. And they project by the year 2030 for the overall revenue of the music industry to be about $100 billion, or at least the recorded music industry. So they project a massive trend upwards due to these streaming services. Now, another reason this pool is going to grow is because they project for streaming subscribers to grow substantially over the next 10 years. In the year 2019, there's 341 million subscribers to paid services. By the year 2030, they project for it to be 1.2 billion. So that's almost 4 times as much as it is right now, or 2 years ago, roughly right now. And when there's more paid subscribers, that means there's going to be a bigger royalty pool for artists to get paid from. So it's kind of this rising tide that's going to bring up all ships, and it's going to be a great thing for copyright holders like artists like myself or other bigger artists like Ryan Tedder, or maybe not him as much right now because he sold off his catalog, but you get the idea. And another reason these royalties are projected to go up is because the cost of these streaming services are going to gradually rise. When Netflix first came out, it was only a few dollars a month, and now, what is it, $13 a month? Around there? I'm not sure, I'm on a family plan. But Spotify is going to gradually raise their prices, and you're probably going to pay it because it's so easy and you've grown accustomed to it. And I could not live my life without Spotify now. I need my Spotify. And with these higher fees, these higher subscription fees, it's going to increase that pool for artists and copyright holders, and it will be a great thing for future royalties. And the last thing to keep in mind, royalties are not going to get canceled. Recorded music royalties are here to stay. Last year, you see all these shows get canceled, all these touring artists who lost this big income stream from being on the road because of what was going on. They had to cancel all these shows, but people are still going to listen to music, whether or not shows are happening, whether or not the economy goes bad, and that makes it a more stable income stream. So what does that mean for an independent artist like myself? I've generated over 343 million streams completely on my own. I mean, I don't have a manager. I record everything myself. I mix everything myself. I have a guy who does my emails, but I pay him by the hour. Like, I'm completely independent. I do it all myself. And because of that, I own everything. I own my master recordings. I own my publishing for the most part, unless I co-write a song. And let me break down really quickly what that means. So there's master royalties and there's publishing royalties. Master royalties come from the sound recording of the song. So this is the song that I produce in my studio, that finished wave file, that is a master recording, and that can generate master royalties. Now, when you write a song, those chords, those lyrics, the underlying song, that is the publishing of the song. That's where you get the publishing royalties. And since my songs have done really well on Spotify, that means my master recording has generated a lot of income because you can get paid pretty well from Spotify for your master recording. Now, what people always complain about is they complain about their publishing royalties on Spotify. So when you write a song, the publishing royalties on Spotify can be pretty garbage. But for me, who records everything myself, I'm independent, I own my recordings, I'm not signed to a label, I've seen a lot of revenue from Spotify for owning these songs. So when I've been offered to sell off my catalog, they're typically offering to purchase my future streaming revenue. And this is essentially the future revenue I'll get from my master recordings. They'll see my numbers on Spotify, they'll see the way these songs are trending and say, hey, you know what? These songs make a lot of money on Spotify, so we want a piece of that, or actually we want all of that. And so the way that it normally works is they'll look at my last year's worth of earnings. Let's say hypothetically it's $100,000. And then they'll 5x it. So they'll say, Landon, you made $100,000 last year on your songs on Spotify. We'll offer you $500,000, and in return, we'll get all of your future streaming revenue from these songs. Now, that sounds very enticing. I could have 5 years salary in my hand tomorrow. All I have to do is give them all of my master royalties. That's really hard though, because what about 6 years from now? What about 7 years from now? Am I still gonna be okay with just 5 years salary? I mean, 10 years from now, if these songs are still doing well, that's gonna be really painful to see these songs still on Spotify generating income. So for that reason, I've never done one of these deals. However, because of the state of the industry, because people want to invest in music royalties right now, I think independent artists need to be able to participate in that without having to sell everything off 100%. And that's the reason I created Royalty Market. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you've definitely heard me talk about this before, but it's just something I'm passionate about, something I'm excited about. And essentially what Royalty Market is, it's an online catalog of songs by independent artists that normal people can invest in, and they can own a piece of the future earnings of those songs. So let me scroll down here and I'll show you kind of how it works, but you can see 2 campaigns I'm doing right now. One is a duet with my friend Madeline. We've done songs before on Spotify, they've done really well. This one's a cover of Leavin' by Jesse McCartney. We really like this song, thought we'd sing it over an acoustic guitar, some piano, make it really pretty. But you can come in here and buy up to 10% of the song. Once it's sold out, it's gone for good. But what that means is if you want to buy 1% of the future earnings, every month when Spotify pays us, 1% of those songs are sent directly to you from the distributor. So it's kind of a cool way for us to help cover our costs. I mean, to make these songs takes a ton of time, a ton of energy, and it helps us kind of to spread some of our risk out to cover those costs so that we can move on to the next song. And what's fun about it is when a song goes to stores and it does really well, the people invested in it get rewarded for that. They get financially rewarded. They get a proportional share of the future earnings depending on how much they invested in the song. But Royalty Market's just been a really fun way to get other people involved, a good way for us to cover our costs. And it's a good opportunity for independent artists to have people invest in their songs without having to give up everything, because it is so painful to give up everything. I mean, I want to own everything I'm doing, or I want to own a piece of everything I'm doing forever. But that is it for this video. That is Royalty Market. That's the new thing I've been working on, and it's been really fun. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description. If you're an artist and you want to host your music on there for investment, you can contact us via the contact form. If you're an investor and you want to check out some songs, click the link in my description. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.